Hey guys, it's Justin again with another unboxing. I wasn't going to post anything today, it's my birthday, but I came to my mom's house and these two gigantic boxes were waiting for me. These are both the same thing. This is what was inside of this box. So we're just going to go through this one. This is the survival level or wave 2 of Kickstarter goods for Kingdom Death Monster. It's the base game, and then stretch goals and remaining survival level rewards. So basically, first wave was all the extra goodies that you got. This is all the game-related extra goodies, and then everything you got at the base level for the game. So this is the lid to the box. This is the actual box. This is just the lid to it, so it's easier to open. And these are the extras. So if you buy the game after Kickstarter, you don't get this. So I'll go through that later. And before I get too far into this, I want to say that this will probably have minor spoilers in it because I'm going to flip through a couple pages of the book. So, God, Mom, you're ruining my video.
Yeah, I'm so sorry, I was coughing.
So the box is all black on black. It's like a gloss black patterning over a matte black. It looks really nice. It's very cool looking. It's got the name of the game all over it. On the side, it's got the phoenix. It says I Heart Poots. It's the guy who made the game. So, when you open the box, the first thing you see is a miniature assembly, build.kingdomdeath.com. As soon as I get done with this video, I'm going to go see what that is. I have watched one of these unboxings already, so I know roughly what's in here. These are the minis that are related to the base game. So, if I can... Sorry I didn't bring a tripod. I didn't think this was going to be here today. I never got any emails or anything about it. It just showed up. Let me put this down for 1 second. Okay, so these are all the runners for the minis that are inside the core box. Here's like the Phoenix wing. You can see just how insanely detailed that is. That looks really nice, actually. It looks better than I thought it would. His claws, I believe that's part of his back or part of his body or something like that. These look really nice. I might go to the store and buy cutters so I can start putting these together. But then you've got other monsters in here. You've got like a Nightmare Ram, the Hand, or sorry, Nightmare Ram, Screaming Antelope. Wow, I was way off on that one. I don't know what a Nightmare Ram is, or where I pulled that from. These are, I believe, character runners. This is one of the armor gear sets. So, as you play through the game and progress, you'll be able to craft armor based on the monsters that you hunt and kill. And you can upgrade your character's armors. It's kind of very much like a D&D style role-playing game where you can upgrade your character and make them better, but you can also change the parts on your miniature to represent the changes that you've made in game as well. So here's all the heads. Let me see if I can get that to focus a little better. So that's cool. Lots of heads to choose from, lots of hairstyles. There's the chests. The bare chests are just cloth. Sometimes you get a necklace, I guess. They're pretty plain when you start off, but as you progress through the game, you'll be able to make more elaborate weapons and stuff like that. So maybe I'll go through these later and do a proper look at all the runners. But there's a ton of plastic in here. This is more plastic than probably your average master grade kit. So there's a lot in here. So this is your, I believe, your timeline. This kind of keeps track of the game for you and lets you know what phase of the game you're in. You start by setting up a settlement. Yeah, I think that's what this is. Survivors will return from, I guess, a hunt. You gain endeavors, you draw settlement events, you update your deaths, you update your timeline, and then you develop. And then I guess you would go back to the beginning from there. I guess at some point there's also fights. I guess that is between everything. So, because then you'll go to prepared departing survivors, record and archive your resources, and then you'll end your settlement phase, and then there's the hunt. On the other side, we have the start and finish timeline. I'm not sure what this is. I guess this is sort of like an alignment thing. You start here, and you work your way down. This in the middle here is overwhelming darkness, and at the other end is starvation. I'm not sure what that means, and I'm sure the rules will clear that up. So I'll look at that later. This one is your monster card. So any monster that you're fighting will use this. And the way this game works is the game actually plays itself. You control your character, but the enemy monsters control themselves. So you don't need like a dungeon master type character to play. All the monsters' moves are done here with this AI deck, and they'll draw cards, and what's on the card is what they do for that turn. Then there's the hit location, base actions, wounds, various tokens, and then traits and moods, which change and modify the way that they act. There's a large sheet of tokens. We've got accuracy tokens, movement tokens, strength tokens, evasion, luck, speed. I guess this is a madness token or something like that, insanity. I know there's a sanity thing on your character sheet. There's damage, toughness, and there's a bunch of each one of those. There's these various lantern tokens. I'm not sure what those are for. They come in red, blue, green, and gray. And then there's what I would assume are potion tokens. Next we've got I don't know what any of these are. Oh, another thing that I should have noted is these are double-sided. So they represent either a +1 or -1 based on which side you have them on. These are one-sided. And these just represent various things. I'm actually not sure what these are. I know this is like the lonely tree or something like that, but I don't know what the rest are. They look like they could be resources or something like that. Maybe you put them down during a showdown, and you know you can do different things while you're fighting the monsters. Look, the lonely tree fell out. Next, we have the game board, which is massive. It's absolutely massive. And it looks really cool. It's got like 4 mouths in the middle and like some spider creatures crawling over the place, but it's got like stone faces all over here. And there's spots for all the cards that'll go around during gameplay, and then it's even lettered and numbered. So we've got a 22 by A to P, so it's not quite 22 by 22, but it's pretty close. It's pretty big though. It's really big. So here are your character sheets. Those go over your character's name, their gender, their experience, their age, which they can also retire apparently. Their weapon proficiencies. You generally pick this, I guess, before you start hunting. There's your courage, and those have various effects, as well as understanding, which also have various effects. Your fighting arts, any disorders, abilities, and impairments that your character may get throughout the playthrough. You've got your survival, your movement, your base stats, your brain, and your insanity. Then you've got head, arms, body, waist, and legs, and all of their armor and hitboxes for each one. So that's light and heavy. You can only take a heavy blow to the head, which I guess would kill you. But you get a really nice number of these, and there's actually like an online one, so I'll probably just use that instead because it is smartphone friendly. Here is your character cards for your gear. This shows kind of the flow of combat, I guess. So it'll say that at the start of your turn you get a move and an action. You can do things during your action in any order that you want. These are some of the actions you can do. There's unarmed combat and how that works. And then, you know, I think there's 6 of these in here because there's variant rules that let you play with up to 6 players. So here are your dividers, and these are for these. And I'm going to only open up one of these, so let me put you down one more time. Actually, I'm not. I just realized there's a lot of... I don't want these to get mixed up. But these are your AI decks and your loot decks and stuff like that. So, here's one of the fighting arts. Once per showdown, you can spend energy to suffer bash and the frenzy brain trauma. There's secret fighting arts, some loot. It's a screaming antelope. Slam. It's another move. And then random event. And weapon proficiencies. Here's all the dice you get. You get 4 hit location dice, which are D6s, and 6 D10s. Here's more dividers. Yes, okay. These are settlement event cards. So here's the one for the first day. When the settlement will help you set up your settlement. It's the first event of any new campaign. Survivors will wander, drawn to a blooming light in the distance. They find a serene comfort over a towering pile of lanterns. A small collection of scared people on a deep instinctual level. They know the area is safe and they make it their home. And then you roll a d10, and then based on the result of that roll, you will get a certain number of survivors for your camp. And then you can go on to the next part of the story. So I'm not going to open that up because that's got story spoilers into it, and I don't really want to do anything like that. These, I'm not sure what these are. I think these are crafting, maybe? Or they're for crafting, and then it shows you the things that you can make. Possibly. I don't know. This is the Barber Surgeon. So that's neat. And these are your gear cards. So here's the lion headdress. It's an accessory. And it gives you 1 armor for your head. This is the white lion mask. It's 2 armor for your head. It gives you an ability where if you're insane, you can spend an action. You lose all your survival and you gain that many +1 strength tokens. So that's pretty neat. The last one is the almanac. And you can notice that this has this little blue thing here. I'll explain that in a second. It is flammable, that's actually a really neat thing. I guess if it catches on fire, you can actually lose items. When you depart, you gain +2 insanity, and you cannot gain disorders. So that's pretty cool. Now the way gear cards work in this game is if they go on the grid, and say I put this right here, if there's another gear card that goes next to it that has a blue on this side and they connect, I get an ability for filling out that thing. And all the gear, or well, most of the gear cards that have these little things on them, you can see already. There's a whole bunch of them. They're all different colors. That you'll get different effects based on how you put your gear in your gear grid, which is really neat. It's just kind of another layer of complexity to this game. So we'll look at the book last. So this is how you keep track of your settlement. This shows the timeline. Innovations, languages, principles, quarries, settlement locations. Okay, so Barber Surgeon was a location for your settlement. These are the nemesis monsters that you can fight. Milestone story events, and the death count. Another cool thing is inside the bottom of this box has got spots for just about everything. You can put your heroes and stuff down here. There's plenty of room for all that. And actually, once you get all this set up, you should have room on the top for some of the monsters and stuff as well. So this whole box can kind of contain everything that you need. And then you just put the board on top. So this is the rule book and the lore book, and there's a comic in here, and the art is really nice. So you've got the introduction, prologue, the first story, survival guide, and then your core rules. And it goes over all these various mechanics within the game. And then you start with your story events, and that'll start with Age, your Armored Strangers, Birth of a Savior, Bold, Bone Witch, and then you just kind of go through that whole thing. And there's a finale chapter, a bonus comic, and then game variant and glossary. So here's how the game works: is you'll kind of go in like a little circle here, and from what I've understood is your game sessions will last one round around this thing. So you'll start generally at your settlement phase, unless it's your first game. Then you'll start with the showdown, I think, and then you go to settlement phase, and then you go to the hunt, and then I think from there, something like that, and that should take about an hour to 2 hours to do, and then that's one game session. So this kind of shows all the lore, and it's really neatly set up. The art is wonderful. So later on, we've got the rules. I'm on page 50 and there we're still doing rules. And this explains what all the things do and how the game works. This explains injuries and severe injuries and how they affect your characters. This is a very hefty rule book. Apparently you can have children in this game, so that's interesting. And that's where I'm going to stop going through all this, because I don't want to spoil myself or anybody else. So the last thing we're going to look at is the survival level rewards, which to my knowledge is just miniatures. Yes. So this is basically just some extra minis for reaching stretch goals during the Kickstarter. I got a whole extra Phoenix, which is massive. I get a couple of extra, like, what is this, the Kingsman, or the Hand? Kingsman. I think I get an extra hand or two. I get a whole extra set of starter minis, so I can mix and match even more. I think there's a bonus armor set in here somewhere, as well as the Adam and Anna minis from backing it, which didn't come with the last set. So that is Kingdom Death Monster. I can't believe I bought 2 of these things. It's insanely huge. I'm going to go upload this and find out what all the rest of this stuff is and flip through the lore and stuff on the book. And I will see you guys later. Thanks for watching.